I was on my elementary school playground. There was a group of us. We were the 4th graders, and we were an elite fighting force. As we went around the playground, we would not really bully, but impose our will upon all of the 3rd graders, because they were being little a-holes. Like, they were led by this kid Steven, and they went around and they were trying to act like the bosses of the playground. They were trying to push us 4th graders around. Who did they think they were? 3rd graders telling 4th graders what to do. So of course a couple of us had to fight back. We had to stand up for our rights. We couldn't let them do that. We got together a group of about 10 4th graders, and we went up and we showed them what's up. It actually turned into a really fun game of all of the big 4th grade kids fighting off swarms of like 30 3rd graders. It was crazy. It was so much fun. And Steven, he was a really big 3rd grader, so he was their leader. And he was always fighting at least 2 or 3 4th graders. Little kid fighting. It's always so epic, making the sound effects with your mouth. But we were actually fighting. We landed punches. I was always the sniper. I moved really fast, and I would run in and make a cheap shot on somebody, and then they would drop. They always had to watch out for me. I could hold my own in a legit fight. In fact, one day, I went up to Steven. He was fighting somebody, and I admit it was a cheap shot, but I ran up behind him and jumped up and slammed my knees down on his shoulders. He immediately collapsed to the ground and just fell. He was pissed off about that. It caused him to lose the fight against 2 of my comrades. He came looking for me. He was out for vengeance. He wasn't going to be taken down like that and just let me get away with it. So he came up and he decided to fight me. Little did he know I was in Taekwondo at the time. I could do a jump kick. He ran up to me and started swinging punches. He was twice my size. I just jumped up in the air and threw a kick in his face. He flew backwards and landed motionless. I went up to him and said, Steven, are you alright? And then one of his friends ran up and said, "Oh my God, you killed Steven!" Fearing for my freedom, I booked it. I wasn't going to be around to deal with these consequences. I ran over to the little fire engine at the other side of the playground. I would be safe there, at least for the time being. All of the 3rd graders were gathered around at this point, standing around Steven's cold, motionless body. Nobody really knew what was going on. He lay there, still. A teacher comes over and doesn't know what happened. I see one of the children point over at me, and the teacher starts walking my way. I start running into the woods. I eventually realized that it was futile to run away, so I went back and turned myself in. By the time I got back, Steven was up and he looked groggy, and we had to talk, me, him, and all 3 of the teachers. They wanted to know what happened. We explained the situation, and me and Steven had to shake hands. It was intense.